Today, during a global pandemic, many Americans tend to overbuy and hoard different products and necessities. If you took time to get supplies recently and went to a wholesale or pretty much any shop, you could see empty shelves and some overly excited shopper who has multiple trolleys filled packed with necessities like toilet paper, sanitizers, as well as food produce. When such occurrences happen over and over and over again, the supply runs out. And this causes for others to not be able to get those pivotal goods, which can be any of us. Hoarding is a huge problem, which causes shortages, and shortages cause many negative effects both in short and long run. As someone who lived in Russia during the food shortage, I have prior experience in such situations. I know what it means to not be able to get those necessities and food. Today, I will discuss the problems which arise from hoarding, some countermeasures and solutions to the problem, as well as some possible scenarios which can arise. Now, the first problem with hoarding is the fact that it creates shortages. And shortages create further and further and further problems. Now, if the food supply runs out and we are unable to get all those necessities, we would have to go out an extra time to the shop, and God forbid something happens. In fact, it's impossible to find masks and sanitizers in shops, and this means that we won't be able to protect ourselves and others around us, which will not only prolong the pandemic, but potentially increase the death toll. Additionally, your horrible shopping patterns may cause essential workers to be unable to get enough gloves and other protective gear, which can lead to them getting infected, which in turn decreases the essential personnel, meaning that less and less patients will be treated, which further increases the death toll. Just imagine that because of your horrible buying and hoarding patterns, your closest friend couldn't buy a mask and caught virus while searching for daily necessities in 3 different shops. Wouldn't you feel horrible? Now, the second problem with hoarding is the fact that most of the hoarded goods don't get used up and either get dumped, which causes harm to the ecosystem, or get back into the market after the pandemic, oversaturating the market, which hurts our economy. I mean, just who buys these goods before the pandemic? How many of you bought any masks? I presume none. And due to the fact that the consumption decreases, we'll get a huge tax loss. And because the GDP is decreasing, that would mean that the government won't be able to give back as much to us as it used to. There are many solutions to the hoarding problem, starting from government intervention all the way to just raising awareness, which could be done by regular citizens. First, the government can implement rations so that hoarders won't be able to buy too many of the same item, or the government can set up caps on goods which can be sold at the shop, which in turn will force the markets to automatically limit the per capita sales. Also, the government can clearly communicate to the people about the disadvantages which come with hoarding. Like the president can give a speech condemning all the hoarders, or just telling them to stop being selfish. There are many political figures to whom people look up to, and they can discuss this topic as well, so the public opinion can change. Moreover, ordinary citizens and businesses can raise awareness to the fact that there are many people and everyone needs something. Social media influencers are a good target group who can spread this knowledge easily, so that your average Joe will stop filling those shacks with tons and tons of sanitizer. Now, if we manage to solve this problem, not only will we be able to acquire many positive effects for us and for the environment. Now, first and foremost, if hoarding was solved, everyone would have enough necessities like toilet paper, sanitizers, or food, so we all can enjoy safety of our homes and outdoors. And I mean, we'll need that because, man, all those kilos that we got. Moreover, the fact that most people will be able to acquire sanitizers and protection will slow down the spread of the virus, which will help the medics to save more people, which in turn would bring the end of the pandemic faster. And we all know that we gotta flatten out that curve. However, if the hoarding continues, the number of problems will grow. Not only would the spread of the virus quicken and the test toll rise, which means that the end of the pandemic will take forever. After the pandemic, the results to the economy and the environment would be terrible. All that extra plastic which will be thrown out with all the waste, the results are unpredictable. Moreover, the GDP for the next couple of years will dive, which in turn will lead to cuts in financial help from the government. And many people need that help, especially now during this crisis. In conclusion, I would like to go over the topics which I discussed today, aka the problem of hoarding, and the solutions that I provided, as well as the discussion of the best and worst key outcomes if the hoarding isn't solved. Now, if we don't solve this problem, we will have many and many bad short and long-term effects on us and our environment. So if we all don't do something about the hoarding, we will all regret it. Just remind yourselves and your friends and family to not overshop. This will help prevent us the deep pile of doo-doo that this pandemic is. Now stay safe and don't hoard.